I'm trying not to get overly amped up about this Chiefs game this early in the week. We do 5 days of radio typically, Sean.
Yep. It was a 5-day week this week, yes.
Yeah, it's a 5-day week. Whew. Just like Aaron Andrews would tell you, it's the toughest job in America.
Okay. I have that for the Pettycast for reasons just like that. She got taken out of context.
She did get taken out of context.
Yeah.
I apologize to Aaron Andrews and her plight.
Yep.
But it's this is I am the first person to say, hey, don't look at the logo, look at the team. You know, you got to evaluate it. And if I were to eat my own rations, I would say, well, look, Chiefs are a 500 football team. Screw that. Look at the logo.
Yeah,
look at that damn arrowhead. Look at the fact that you're playing in Kansas City. Look at the fact that Pat Mahomes is still doing crazy, unbelievable feats on the football field. And even the Chiefs aren't the same team as they've been at their peak. On any given Sunday, I'm going to tell you, Sean, these plucky young upstarts, the Kansas City Chiefs, they might upset the Texans as they enter the game 3.5 point favorites. Yes.
Yeah, 3.5 point favorites. Well,
the Chiefs, that is, everybody. The Chiefs are favorites.
Yeah. Look, a month ago, if someone had told you the Texans would be a 3.5 point underdog, I would have signed up for that in a second. When they were 3-5, and the Chiefs weren't that great at the time either, and yet at that time they were still the favorites to come out of the AFC to go to the Super Bowl, even though they were 4-4. Stop me if you've heard this story before. All of their 6 losses, the Chiefs are all by one score.
Yeah.
Stop me.
1-6 in one-score games.
Tell me if there's another team in the AFC who all of their losses are by one score. The Houston Texans. Yeah, the Houston Texans.
I thought that's where you were going with it, but then I don't. It takes me about 4 days to upload all the commonly known stats and everything.
Yeah.
The one-score game. I mean, last year we said it all season long with the Chiefs. Well, it's got to fall apart at some point, right? They can't keep winning every single one-score game, and yet they did over and over and over again.
Yep.
And even in their loss in the Super Bowl. No, not a one-score margin, Sean.
No.
I don't remember the exact score, but I remember very clearly that it was not a one-score margin.
It was 40-6 at one point in the Super Bowl, and then they tacked the Chiefs scored a couple meaningless touchdowns.
They almost had it. They could have just had a 34-point game, 34-point play. They would have brought it right back into a one-score game.
Would have been even again, man. Yeah, it would have been even again. I'm excited for this game, man. I'm really excited. I'm excited about the stage that it's going to get. I know that primetime football, by and large, over the last year or so has not been the greatest thing for the Texans, although maybe Thursday night football against the Buffalo Bills exercise some demons. The Texans defense is arguably the best unit of any offense, defense, or special teams in football right now. If you take every team's offense, every team's defense, and every team's special teams, so we're talking about 96 different units, the Texans' defense might be number one out of those 96 units. Not just the best defense, they might be headed on the road.
Of the best platoon.
Best platoon in all of football might be the Texans. It's certainly in the conversation. What I've been told, Seth, is that defense travels. That when you go on the road, defense don't know weather conditions. Defense don't know night or day. Defense don't know locale.
I'll tell you what, the thing that would be really exciting is if this game were at home at NRG Stadium. I don't know, perhaps in the playoffs, maybe that's in the cards. Jawan Taylor, as we all know, is one of the most frequently penalized offensive tackles in football. Their right tackle.
Yep.
False starts all over the wazoo, aligning too deep off the line of scrimmage, all of those things. You know who his protege is? Josh Simmons, the left tackle.
Yeah.
Who, despite missing 5 weeks due to personal reasons, which he didn't bother to disclose to the team when he just disappeared the day of a game. He's tied for 7th in the league in penalties.
After missing a month?
Yes.
Okay,
he's on a Laramie Tunsil-like pace.
Oh, my God.
So, at NRG Stadium, that could be real fun. But both those guys are banged up, too.
Yep.
Both their starting tackles. At the end of the game last week, Josh Simmons was playing with 3 backup offensive linemen and still managed to score 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, this is, as it's been for Pat Mahomes for a while, it's a dicey situation for him behind that offensive line, but he figures out a way to make it go. But if this ends up, Sean, being if this could possibly be Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter versus a couple of backup offensive tackles, or at the very least 2 starters who are injured.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
I would love that. That would be a big deal. We saw what happened when Patrick Mahomes has some pressure on him at a really high rate. We saw that in the Super Bowl.
That was the last week was the second highest pressure rate he'd faced all season versus the Cowboys.
And that's not a team that's since trading Micah Parsons, not exactly a team that's known for its pass rush either.
Except the defensive Williams tackles made it. Javion Clowney got a sack in that game. I don't know if you were watching. When
I think he had 2.
Did he have 2 sacks?
I think he had 2 in that game.
Oh, I didn't catch the second one.
He had I think he had a multi-sack game.
Good for Clowney.
I know, man. I know. I like Clowney. I'm fine with that. And he's doing it over in the NFC. It's not bothering us at all. So DeMeco, yesterday, we'll talk to you about Chiefs both today and throughout the rest of the week. Huge game coming up. 7:20 kickoff. It's Sunday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. You can catch it here on Sports Radio 610. DeMeco Ryans was asked yesterday, what was your biggest takeaway from the win over the Colts on Sunday?
Yeah, my biggest takeaway is always I'm excited that we got the win, but I think the biggest takeaway for me is we left so much out there, right? And there's still so many things where we can actually so many things we could do better. And I know it's tough to say that, but it is some small things. Some things I know we can do better, things we've worked, things we can clean up technique-wise, fundamental-wise. I just feel like we still left a lot of plays out there, and that's my challenge to our guys. It's always, how do you get better? Don't just rest on, we won and be happy with winning. It's all about continue to learn in a win or a loss. What do you learn from it and how you keep pushing the envelope to get even better.
I love that. I love that answer because DeMeco has at times, I think, been hesitant to go there publicly. He's critical of his team after a win. He's very much, hey, we got the win, and we're happy, and they should be happy. They got a huge win in Indianapolis. But he was almost apologetic about bringing up the fact that there's things they need to clean up. I literally wrote it down. He goes, I know it's hard to say this, but there's some things we can clean up. And meanwhile, I'm jotting down red zone, penalties, special teams, all these things. DeMeco,
Sean.
It's DeMeco. It is okay to say that.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's mad at you, and I don't think your players are mad at you for saying that.
It's exactly what I had written down, too. Penalties and red zone were my first 2 notes. Especially the offense in the first half. That was pathetic. That was as bad as it was in the first 3 games where you just couldn't. You were killing drives with penalties on first down and stupid penalties at that.
Yeah.
Alignment errors. CJ throwing 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Those are really dumb penalties.
Yeah.
So you got to clean that up. That they did, to their credit, by the end of the game, by the second half. But the run game, too, I mean, boy, this pains me to say this, but even Ed Ingram on that incredible block that he had where he pancaked that linebacker, don't stand there and admire your work.
No.
You could be working up to the safety on that. And that's one thing the O-line, as much as they've improved, working up to the second level and staying attached and springing explosive runs, they've got to continue to get better at that. They've made great progress, but they're not there yet. And then defensively, these explosive plays downfield. And this isn't a week where you're facing a team with a great capacity for explosive plays. The Texans haven't allowed as many explosive plays on defense as they did last year, but amongst the better defenses in the league, they're one of the worst at allowing explosive plays.
Yep.
And some of these things where you just got wide open spaces over the middle of the field, guys got to be dialed in a little bit tighter and not allow some of those easy yardage. Look, some of those incredible catches that they made, the Josh Downs, the Alec Pierce or whatever, those are great throws and great catches. It's the wide open receivers over the middle of the field that you gotta take care of.
Yeah, no question about that. It's interesting. Early on, if you're up early with us, check in on the text page, 735-724610. DeMeco himself probably has some things he needs to look at internally with how he's managing games, and I think that's been the case all year. I don't think DeMeco's had a great year managing games, whether it's weird replay review requests or in this particular game. We got a text right here. Why didn't he take the field goal at the end of the game, and what were we doing at the end of the half, not getting into field goal range? That was the first thing DeMeco was asked about yesterday at his press conference. was the decision to go for it on fourth down. Just to reset, for those who don't recall, 20-16, Texans are driving. There's about 5 minutes to go in the game. Woody Marks gets them to 2nd and 1 with a nice 9-yard run. They on 2nd and 1, they run Woody Marks up the middle. It gets stuffed, and then they go back-to-back. Cade Stover tush pushes, a play that had worked twice already in the game. On third down, it was 3rd and 1 on the box score, but it was really 3rd and about 1.5.
Yeah.
And they did get a push and got it to about a half a yard, and that played into DeMeco's decision to go for it on fourth down. Here was DeMeco Ryans, and of course, as we all know, they got stopped on fourth down, and they had to put it in the hands of their defense off the field at the end of the game. Here was DeMeco Ryans on the decision to go for it on fourth down with about 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, during that series, we were driving the ball down, felt really good of how we were driving the ball. Honestly, on the first third down, I felt like we got it. I felt we had really good movement, and I told the guys to do it again. Just being aggressive there, that's my call as the head coach. I'm aggressive, so, hey, it didn't work. That happens sometimes, but it's not going to stop me from being aggressive.
Okay. So did you, at the time, what were you thinking of the decision?
At the time, I was okay with the decision. I will question, in hindsight, the play call. And I said at the time, in my head, as soon as I saw that it was going to be that Stover tush push again, I said, I committed to, I'm going to criticize this play decision even if they make it. Because it's too much of what we've seen where I feel like DeMeco wants to, he believes that they're tougher than they are. And I do think he believes it. And this is sometimes where belief can get you in trouble. Belief has to be tempered somewhat by acknowledgement of reality. And you can't necessarily will your way to toughness. You can't will your way to being a more physically dominant team than you are. DeMeco cited, I don't know if I missed it in that one or if it's in the ensuing one, where he says they'd gotten good push on the play before.
He said it just there. Yep.
Yeah, just there. I don't think they got great push on that one. That didn't look to me like the Eagles running that play.
No, it definitely didn't look like that.
And we go back to the Broncos game or various other times, the Seahawks, where they just run it up the middle. And I think DeMeco just, it's the old, one of our texters can tell, it's the old biblical verse about, moving mountains with your belief. Yeah. Sometimes, hey, a lot of things in the Bible are metaphors, man. They don't,
literal mountains.
Yeah. You don't have to take this stuff literally.
The analogy I always make when it's somebody who's clearly making decisions, looking at themselves, and in DeMeco's case, he's looking at themselves as the team, and he's seeing something that the rest of the world is not seeing.
Homer Simpson looking in the mirror.
Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Fat, pear-shaped body looking in the mirror and basically seeing peak Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. When in reality, it's Homer Simpson when it turned out that because of his incredibly small brain, he could take a punch really well.
Yes,
That's.
I gotta watch more Simpsons. When was the last time you sat down and watched a new Simpsons episode?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Mostly
Still on.
Lisa killed it for me. I just can't. It feels like every time I try to click on it, a Lisa episode comes up.
Oh, that's no good.
It's like a Meg episode on Family Guy.
Yeah, I need a Homer or a Bart every single time. Hey, here's one more from DeMeco. What factors into a decision like going for it on fourth down?
Yeah, I mean, there's always numbers, analytics, but it's also a feel. When I see our guys move the pile there on 3rd and 1 like they moved it, I feel like we could have did it again, and so I'm not going back on that decision there.
No, you can't.
The other thing too is that that play's worked for you already, and you're not facing a bunch of idiots out there. Like they've talked about it, they've figured out exactly. They've got the muscle memory of having failed a couple times, and it's not. The biggest myth about the tush push is that it's somehow just simple physics and that's all it is. It's just like, hey, we got a bunch of big guys and we're going to push those big guys over there. And that's all it takes. No, some teams are better at it than others. That's one of the arguments that the Eagles put out there for it. The Eagles and the Bills and other teams were much better at it than every other team that tried it. It's not as simple as just, hey, and this annoys me too. All right, it's been legal now for how many years? And now 2 months before it's probably banned forever, you decide, whoa, hey, look at this cool new thing.
Wrinkles.
Yeah.
Wrinkles.
Yeah.
Well, what would we be saying? What would we have been saying yesterday if they Stover pushed it on 3rd and 1? They don't get it. They move the pile a little bit. They line up, and they unveiled a wrinkle on 4th and 1 that ends up getting not just a first down, but maybe gets them down deep into the red zone or scores a touchdown. We would be saying,
Funny you should ask.
Yeah.
Funny you should ask, Sean, because in my little objectivity exercise, I did the exact same thing at that moment.
Okay.
The codicil to my, hey, I'm going to criticize this as a tush push, and it's just a tush push. If they do something like Cade Stover pitches it out or something, or it moves out of the way and it's a direct snap or something like that,
sure,
I was going to be cool with that.
Yeah.
Because Caley had shown some ingenuity and creativity down there in the red zone already with the Nico Collins, and they had executed it really well.
Yep.
That's the thing. If you're going to introduce blunt force trauma, a new play that's just blunt force trauma, have something to offset it. That's just football 101. It's not about the play calling and all of the exotic things in the grand scheme of things. Is this play building to something else, or is this play complemented by something else? And no, they just said, hey, turns out we're big tough guys now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's like the kid that goes to karate class and thinks because he got a green belt or something that he's going to beat up the bully at school.
That's a great analogy.
And meanwhile, as the bully is holding your head in the toilet, you're like, that's not karate. That's against the rules. Hey. This is not acceptable.
So the other part of what DeMeco just said, where he's like, well, I'm aggressive. You weren't at the end of the half.
Right.
There was a severe lacking in urgency. And I hope, there's one of two things that were going on at the end of the half when the Texans literally took 40 seconds to run their second play of the drive. Fairly deep in their own territory. They started at their own 20. They threw an 11-yard pass to Dalton Schultz, and the clock went from 1:51 down to 1:10. And I don't have a problem with moving somewhat slowly on the first play because you are trying to get the clock down to a point where if Indianapolis gets the ball back, they don't have any time left. 40 seconds is too long, and certainly burning it to 50 seconds or so to move the ball a total of 25 yards is unacceptable. I hope that DeMeco saying that he's aggressive when in fact at times he's very conservative, it would seem, at the end of the half. I hope that's him just paying lip service, because if he wasn't conservative at the end of the half, that means he was incompetent at the end of the half. Yeah. And I'd rather have him being conservative than being incompetent. If he's saying I'm aggressive, well, man, that operation at the end of the half was anything but aggressive.
Yeah, that's I guess and in that answer, he had another question when asked about the analytics for. No, that was the one about the analytics for it and all of that.
Yeah.
And you're going by feel. I guess that's the part that I 100% agree with. It's got to be a balance of analytics and feel, and just knowing how the game is. The numbers don't always play out, the way it looks on the field. And I go back to I was not impressed with the push that they got on that first tush push on 3rd down. It was okay. It wasn't atrocious. Maybe his standards are too low now because he's watched his team get destroyed in short yardage situations so much.